Welcome back. We are moving into the full moon in Virgo, coming right out of Pisces and right out of Mercury in retrograde. Let's look at the business energy from the full moon in Virgo to the new moon in Aries. I am excited to speak with you today. We are coming out of Mercury in retrograde. We are coming out of the new moon in Pisces. We're moving right in to the full moon in Virgo. And we are still kind of in that Pisces season. So before I get into how Virgo and Pisces kind of play nice together, I want to thank you for being here with me right now. I want to thank you so much. If you haven't already, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications. And if you love videos like this, give it a big ol' thumbs up. I want to be able to continue to serve you in this matter along with other business insights. This is all about really bringing the masculine and feminine energy together for you and your business, because it takes both that integration that is in perfect balance for you to really make your business thrive. And speaking of masculine structures, are you wondering what is going on in my business? Why do I feel stuck? Well, I'm assuming that's part of why you're here today, so you can learn to work in the flow with the universe for your business. Work with that cosmic flow, that feminine energy. But you also have to make sure those masculine structures are in place. So down just below this video in the description, you can go to banishbusinessoverwhelm.com. I have a quick assessment there that you can take that'll really point out where some of those places need to be built up in your foundation so you have those masculine structures in place along with the feminine flow. So with all of that said, let's dive right into it. All right, so I'll be pulling some cards here for us, really looking at Virgo. But before I even do that, I realized I wanted to go ahead and give us an archetype to play with as we're working through this time period between the full moon and the new moon. Now, one other thing I would really like to say as we're moving through this is, okay, how do Virgo and Pisces really play together, right? That's part of what the energy is going to be about, is how do these two interact? So when you think about Virgo, really think about what Virgo likes to do, right? Be organized, be very helpful to other people. Really that ability to go within and bring things out. So to go deep and bring things out, but they don't really like to talk about that part. And then you are in the season of Pisces, who's all about going in, right? Actually, sometimes going so deep in, they don't really come out, right? So what's beautiful about having Virgo and Pisces working together at this time, it's a lot of those thoughts, and you might have been reflecting a lot. That's one of the beautiful things to do during Mercury in retrograde. You might have been doing a lot of reflection about your business, about what things are working, what things aren't working, even maybe coming up with something new to bring to market, some kind of new product or service that really will speak to your divine client archetype. So all of those things have been probably going on underneath the surface. Really, that is what Virgo brings out, all of that. And so now we get to shed away all the secrecy, right? All the come out of the deep, come out of the cave. Woo, I think we've got an archetype card here. And really come forth now that the full moon is here. So let's see what can guide us. Advocate. Oh my God, this is incredible to have Advocate. Is the light attribute inspires you to put compassion into action. So I am very, very curious. Let me know in the comments below. What is that project that's been on your heart? Who is your divine client archetype? It's a very interesting card. Let's see what the shadow attributes are. Embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. So you're thinking, ooh, how does that really fit into my business, right? Because really when you're in business, it is about personal gain, right? You need to make money. But on the other hand, are you only in it for the money, right? Are you only in it for the money? Are you in it for a greater cause? Are you in for it? Well, what is really landing in your heart? What it is that you were called here to do. So that would still be playing in that light attribute. So don't let personal gain throw you off there, because we need money to, have a certain kind of lifestyle so that we can give back. We can't give from an empty well. But you can still be an advocate for others, an advocate for your divine client archetype, or whomever it is, so that you can keep moving forward. So this will be a very interesting card to guide us. So I'm going to put it right over here. And we're going to go into the rest of the reading right now. So this is for the full moon in Virgo, right? Through to that new moon in Aries. Let's see what's going on. What are we bringing in from that new moon in Pisces and from Mercury retrograde? What are we bringing over, right? So let's see here. Oh. Okay. All right, so what are we tiptoeing in with? We've got a few more cards to pull, but let's stop right there. All right, so we've got our first one here. We've got the Tower. So that means, we're coming in, right, from that new moon in Pisces. We're coming out of Mercury retrograde. Things are turning over, right? A lot of times when we go deep within, we realize there's some serious changes that have to be made, right? Like things were not going as well, or maybe even they were going okay, but it's time to take it up a notch. It's time to really lean in. And on that leaning in part, I would say really lean into your Mars. So look on your natal chart. If you don't know how to pull your natal chart, just let me know, and how to identify where Mars is on your natal chart. Lean into wherever your Mars is. So lean into that. If you're confused, again, just ask me below in the comments. I'm more than happy to help. So it's like leaning into that Mars, leaning into that fire, so we can see what needs to be done. That's what we're coming in with. And then over here, we've got the Fool reverse. Like what I like about the Fool, typically when the Fool is upright, is there's this innocence, the sweetness, the desire to really, let's see, how do I want to put this? The desire to really go on adventures, to find new things. But in this case, we're coming in with energy that's reversed. It's like, I'm not looking for anything new. In fact, I'm almost getting right now, it's not that the desire not to look for anything new, it's not to want to see what's there. It's not wanting to see the innovation. So even though as I was coming in, I first started talking this reading about, hey, there's some things you should be coming in with that are new that you learned and you need to bring forward. It's almost as if fighting against bringing it forward, even though you know it needs to change. This is the story I'm getting so far. And then if you want to, go ahead and look at where Uranus is in your chart. And see if you can find where that blockage is there. Okay, that's going to tell you a lot. Okay, we're moving over into the Three of Wands. So really, I love wands because they're such fire energy, and I love that. And in this case, we've got, all right, like a hero complex, right? We want to be the hero, which so makes sense when you're over here with the advocate. We're advocating for someone. We want to be the hero, but it's almost as, again, it's blocked. It's almost like it might put us in a difficult spot. So if you're really considering making changes in your business, sometimes that means you're going to end up losing out on the other people that were there before. Maybe there's certain people that are on your list right now, and you're like, if I do X, Y, and Z, I'm going to lose these people, or I'm going to lose maybe some of my current clients, even though you feel inclined to do it. It's like, I don't want to see it, because then I'll have to change. And then I'll have to start advocating for someone else. And that's really what I'm seeing here. Moving on. Now we're coming in. Where are we coming in here? The Five of Swords. Okay, so there's a lot of confusion, a lot of chaos in your mind, which totally makes sense. It's kind of that desire to escape, escapism. Like, are you binge watching stuff? Right? Just like, what are you doing to kind of tiptoe around what's going on? All right, so now we are definitely headed in before we make that changeover, and we've got the Hanged Man reversed. Wow. I can see what is going on here. So we've got all this energy, stuff that we're trying to block, things, changes we know we're going to need to be made. The Hanged Man reverse, it's kind of like, I know nothing, I see nothing, I hear nothing. And if you ever watched Hogan's Heroes, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about there. You know, it's like, it's better just not to know. But this is the thing. We're spiritual entrepreneurs. We are enlightened. And we're on this path to further enlightenment, further going within, further really bringing the information, downloads that are needed. And again, by trying to say, I know nothing, I see nothing, this pushback against the change. Whew, let's see what we can do to get out of this mess. All right, let's see. All right, so we've got a couple of things going on here. We've got the Five of Cups, emotional chaos. So we have mental chaos and we're sliding into emotional chaos. How exciting. This, you know, like I said, this full moon in a Virgo and coming out of Mercury retrograde, I can see the mental chaos from that because it really calls for really looking within, and sometimes that's really difficult to do. But sliding there and saying I'm rejecting and sliding into emotional chaos isn't that much better. So like, what is the way out? That's what I want to know. What's the way out? So our way out here, very interestingly, is the Empress. Now, one thing I love about the Empress is she's got it all together, right? She really is about what I call the luxury moment. She's very temperate, very in know of what's going on around her and her kingdom, and kind of being that gracious host and being calm and looking at all sides and then coming out and really able to kind of mend fences. But this is a woman who loves love and loves luxury, right? And so is that the way? So understand that Venus is associated with the Empress. So check out where Venus is in your chart. What's interesting to me is we started out with Mars and here is Venus coming in saying, oh, okay. Again, balancing this thing out, bringing integration. So this is going to be a very beautiful integration time during the full moon in Virgo. So this is going to be a very much an integration time. You know, it could have been kind of lean in business. Now we're coming into more abundance, which is really a lot of what the Empress is about. So as you're sliding in, you're dealing with all these changes. If you will go through the change, I think a lot of abundance is coming here. And then also I would say, take a look. Where's Taurus? Where's Libra? Venus rules both of them. Especially look, you know, like check out your sun sign, obviously, but your rising, which bear a lot of emphasis on this, as well as your moon, and try to see where these things play into that. All right, coming over here to not the final card, but almost my final card for this drawing is the Nine of Swords reversed. Right? There are some lessons that still need to be learned. There's still that learning, that thing that you're kind of fighting against over here that's coming to bear, and you're still fighting. Why? Why are you still fighting? I know you want the abundance to come out of here, but it's bringing the fire in. It's going to come. It's going to happen in a good way. But the point is, it's going to happen. Good or bad, it's going to happen. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. Oof. My goodness. Can you see this, guys? If you keep fighting, we've got the Ten of Swords, and that means just everything coming in on you mentally. So this is a really, to me, a very intriguing reading for this full moon in Virgo, especially during Pisces season. So something is coming up, right? That's how Virgo and Pisces play together. And then Virgo's bringing in some structure. She's bringing it out into the world. And I'm just seeing if you're going against whatever that is, you know, you have the choice. You can have this component where even though there's a lot of changes coming in, that it'll still be okay, that there's still abundance there, there's still fruitfulness there if you embrace the change. I mean, there's a lot to go through to embrace that change mentally and emotionally, but not embracing the change, still fighting against the change, not taking on the lesson fully. Not only do you fail to be the advocate, but the nightmare scenario happens, whatever that nightmare scenario is for you. It's like greater confusion and chaos, and that is definitely not what I would like to see happen. But as for the business energy during this time, take the lessons that you've learned, that you've uncovered during this Mercury in retrograde. Bring the lessons in. Don't fight against them. Bring them in so that you can get to abundance rather than into more chaos. All right. Not the happiest, but also a good lesson to learn. Sometimes we gotta learn our lessons, or as has happened to me in the past, you get smacked over the head with the cosmic 2x4. Because the reasons we're learning those lessons are plentiful. And it's so that we can bring even more to our communities. So with that, I say peace, joy, love to you.